Hey, good morning. We're wrestling here with chords. We got a little mix up here. Anyway, good morning. Morning, Bruce.
Hey, how you doing, Rick?
I've done better. I had this thing all set in my ear, and then all of a sudden it went kitty wampus. Have you ever heard that word before?
Kitty wampus over the. Yeah.
I can't keep this in my ear, Josh. I'm sorry. Hey, good morning from the office. This is Rick and Bruce tuning in here for you. We had a little inauspicious start, if I must say.
Hey.
But we're glad to be here. Brian gave you a little heads up that he was going to be heading up north, heading up to visit family. He's got an ailing parent who he's going to visit. So we're glad to sit in for him here on Thursday from the palatial studios of Fetcher News here in the 13th floor.
The 13th floor.
13th floor.
If you can find that building,
that's
good luck to you.
That's what our private studio is. Welcome to all of you out there, some friends. Hopefully we've got some friends in Atlanta looking on. Ross, my buddy Ross, and maybe...
your friend in Florida?
Yeah, maybe Debbie. Debbie might be looking in today.
You think Howard and Judy would be looking?
I don't think so. I think it's 5 o'clock in the morning somewhere.
Yeah, for Kali. That's way too early.
That's right. But we're glad to be here this morning, taking up a couple hours of your time. We're hopeful that we can be somewhat entertaining, somewhat insightful, somewhat...
informative.
Informative, yeah, thank you. Help me with the big words this morning.
And controversial at the same time.
Are we going to be controversial?
You never know.
Yeah.
Do we have to do all the contact thing,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea while I get my earpiece in here so I can hear Josh. Yeah. Take him through that, Bruce.
I don't have any of it.
Well, there you are, right there. It's
okay.
So we've got our Twitter account. We've got our YouTube account. We've got the. Well, you said you didn't know.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, 71 degrees here in LJ, 803. Good morning from the office. I hope Brian's not listening because I'd like to take back the first 3 minutes and start over, but you can't.
Hey, 'tis what it is.
So what's going on? Anything in the news?
Let's see. President Donald J. Trump had a rally last night.
Man, was it a rally.
I missed it. You saw, so you...
We did. My wife and I sat and watched the rally from start to finish and laughed a lot and clapped a lot. A couple of old goons sitting in the family room clapping for the TV. It was raucous, as all of his rallies are.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Greenville, North Carolina.
Not that far away.
No, not that far away at all. He was at the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Minges, Minges Stadium.
Well, I don't know who that's named after.
I don't either. But it was Minges Stadium, I believe, and that's where Eastern Carolina, the Pirates. Isn't that right, Josh? The Pirates?
That's where they play hoops?
Eastern Carolina Pirates. Yeah, Eastern Carolina Pirates play basketball, and the arena holds 8,000 people, and they had to set up ancillary rooms with big screens and stuff because of the overflow. I mean, it's just amazing. I think any one of those candidates that are sitting on the other side, vying for his job, would just love to have 25% of the people that come to his rallies show up.
Yeah, on any given night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Here's what I was laughing at.
And what were the themes?
Yeah. Let me tell you, he was all over the board. But you know what? He has the ability to. Now, granted, he uses the teleprompters.
I heard one report he went way off the teleprompter.
Well, he always goes off message. You can tell when he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, he covered all the ground. He covered, everything.
Economy.
He covered all of the bases of, promises made, promises kept, and talked about. He got specific about North Carolina, and what he said was, since he's been in office, and I mean, this is a staggering number when you think about it. Since he's been in office, he's created 6 million jobs.
Whoa.
And he came out with, he said, folks, there's only three
Of course,
words.
that'll be challenged.
Oh yeah, of course
but-
it will. Folks, they'll be, they
Everything he says is challenged,
right.
which is ridiculous.
Excuse me. And then he got specific with North Carolina. 180,000 jobs created in North Carolina alone, and he said North Carolina is enjoying the best economy that they've ever had.
Best ever.
Best ever.
Who?
Of course, and we're winning. We're winning.
Winning. Are we
Yeah.
tired of winning yet?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. One of the things I was laughing at is when I watched it last night, and Brian threw up a couple of slides the other day of him partying in the '80s or something down there, and he had all
the Epstein.
he had all
yeah.
the Buffalo Bills cheerleaders or something. I don't know, but I don't know if the Secret Service stands at the door and go, let's see, oh yeah, you're easy on the eyes, you're going behind Trump. You're easy, okay, you're going behind Trump. Josh, you have the picture of that one rally shot with the women to Trump's left, to our right. I mean, what? Enough said. He has the ability, and they're all holding up signs, "Women for Trump," which is, I mean, it's going to have to be women for Trump if he's going to win again, because that's where he really suffered a little bit, was the kind of the suburban women, don't you think?
So they say. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I don't know if putting people in all these areas in these little boxes. From a pollster's point of view, I understand it, but the reality is, I think a lot of people don't really fit into that demographic all the time. But
Yeah.
the mass media loves to go with that, and of course the polling companies do. So
Yeah, I really would like to. I'd like to be the guy that kind of sorts out who's going to sit behind the president.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the people behind him. I don't know if that's they're picked just from the people coming in, by chance or beforehand.
Well, you've got to be able to. You've got to think that they probably have undergone some kind of scrutiny.
You would hope.
You just don't bring them in willy-nilly and not run them through a magnetometer or something.
Well, yeah, show me your sign, too. You never, some nut that has something on the backside.
There was a nut there last night, too, that they...
Oh,
yeah, they jacked him up hard, and of course, the crowd all of a sudden turned to Trump's left, and he finally looked up there, and then
throw him out.
Yeah, then the camera went up there, and it's some, there's always one in the crowd, but I'm not gonna let's not acknowledge.
Did he talk at all about the trade wars last night? What's going on with China and Mexico, and the trade agreement that is going to be coming up with Mexico and Canada soon? For
he always alludes to that because of promises made. We got rid of NAFTA, and the Chinese are suffering the worst economy in 27 years because of tariffs. So I mean, he didn't make reference to it specifically, but he walks around the edges. Why do you ask?
Again, that's coming up, and supposedly that's going to be sort of a
bellwether,
a tougher fight getting the new NAFTA, the USMCA, I think it is.
Why do you think that would be a tough fight?
Because the Democrats want mud thrown on them.
They don't want them to win.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna put this thing through the ringer and say, "Oh, you could have done better here on environment. Oh, you could have done better on political rights. You could have done better on asylum seekers."
Yeah,
it's going to be all that sort of stuff. And even though I think behind closed doors, a lot of Democrats say, "Yeah, it's an improvement over what we had."
You've got some stuff later that we can touch on about immigration too, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Speaking of fights, did anybody hear out there that Joe Biden has challenged President Trump to some physicality? I don't know if it's wasn't Biden some kind of a pugilist? Wasn't he a boxer?
I don't have any idea about that, but I know, before he said something about that, he's just a bully, and I'd take him up behind the barn and beat the heck out of him.
And now he wants to challenge him to a push-up contest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Push-up contest.
There was a picture of Trump last night who looked like he was going to get ready to to take on Joe any day. Come on, Joe, watch out for my left
That's maybe
jab.
going back to the pugilist thing. It doesn't look like a push-up stand.
No, it looks like a fist fight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
Hands are a little high, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. You got to cover your middle a little bit more. Go for the ribs, Rocky. Oh, jeez.
So, any other highlights of the rally last night?
Well, you know, it goes without saying that he's going to bring up, as Brian calls them, the Spice Girls.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. You know, you made a good point driving over here this morning, is that, you know, whenever they open their mouth, they just it just seems like they suck the air out of the entire Democrat spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't you wonder, you know, you hear Rush say this is all just perfectly contrived by Trump to get infighting with the Democrats and get them, taking them off message, and who's running the show, who's running. You know, the House really has, there's a piece I didn't get to read this morning. I just looked at Trey Gowdy and the tagline, and it said, the House has really become irrelevant.
And you think the mass of Americans and all these precincts and districts that these Congress people represent, nothing is getting done.
No.
I mean, they're just, supposedly there's 6 committees or subcommittees working on impeachment. Pelosi said this the other day. 6! And, you know, and they had a vote yesterday. They had a vote on Al Green, the guy from Texas, on impeachment.
He's not the one that's saying, "Lady Love."
No.
No.
The other Al.
He looks like the werewolf.
Yeah, he's got a real kind of like a Yasser Arafat look, you know, going.
Yasser Arafat look. All he's missing is the towel.
Anyway, the resolution got voted down 392 to 80 or 90 or something like that.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, the guy got whacked hard.
Yeah.
Someone ought to look at Al and say, Al, what about all the money that you took out of the slush fund to pay off your sexual encounters?
Oh, him too?
Oh, my goodness. You go back to the 80s, you look Al Green, look at his past history. The guy is a scumbucket. He's amazing. I mean...
And this is the congressman, not the singer, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the singer was pretty
from Texas.
good.
Yeah, the singer was good.
But, jeez. Seriously, look it up. I'm not making this stuff up as I go. I did do the research on Al Green, and he's got all of these sexual trysts and extramarital affairs.
Oh, boy.
A couple of them, he's been sued.
Do we know how many children he has?
I don't, who knows? Who knows?
This would be getting a territory of that guy who played for Kansas City. I think he had 11 children by 11 different women.
You know...
Anyway, I mean, we're getting off topic.
No, really, seriously. I mean, that's a good segue into another piece.
Oh.
My friend Ross sent me a really cool article about one of my favorite guys, Walter E. Williams. And I've done some research and done a little history about Walter E. Williams, who is an economist from George Mason University. But we can talk about that later. Let's go back to the rally, talking about the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Does anybody out there know who David Webb is? David Webb, you know who David Webb is?
I know who David Webb is.
He's a man of color.
A man of color.
A black gentleman who is a Fox News contributor.
And you know where his color came from? Jamaica. He's from Jamaica.
So is Juan.
Hey.
Isn't he?
I don't
so
know.
is Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all Jamaican.
Yeah. Mon.
Yeah, exactly. Light up a fatty, man. Anyway,
don't bogart that joint.
Yeah, exactly. We've got David Webb, who came out yesterday on a tweet, and my wife, God love her, is an active tweet person.
A tweetette.
Yeah,
a tweetette.
She's the sweetest tweetist. Anyway, and he said, can you guys come up with a good acronym for what they call the squad? You know, an acronym is, what's a good acronym? NASA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the initials. National Aeronautic Space Administration. Right?
I thought it was National Academy of Staged Aeronautics. Yeah. Are we gonna
Let's go conspiracy, folks. Here we go.
Celebrate a moon landing one of these days?
Deep dive.
National Academy. Anyway, so my darling wife came up with what I think. I mean, there's a picture of the squad. Okay, there's a picture of the squad,
AKA the Spice Girls.
Yeah, the Spice Girls. That's a great. It's
a better picture than most.
Yeah. Josh, do you have the one that we saw this morning that is kind of clever with the blue lettering up there? The Clueless Caucus of Twittering Twits. That's pretty good.
Yeah, TCC.
It's not an acronym. It doesn't spell out squad. No. So my wife came up with what I thought was brilliant. And before you put it up, Josh, I want to make sure that we get credit for this at the Fetcher News store.
We want this trademarked.
Yeah, I mean, if Rush can come out with a T-shirt that says "Stand Up for Betsy Ross," we ought to be able to come out with a T-shirt that talks about an acronym for the squad. Do you have what is being called right now? What we're going to call these ladies? Socialist Quacks. Socialist Quacks undermining American democracy. Does that not say it all?
4 ducks. There you go.
Yeah, SQUAD. Squad. Socialist Quacks undermining American democracy, which is exactly what they're doing.
Exactly.
I mean, you talk about it's not a misnomer. Would that be a nomer?
That would be a nomer.
Yeah. Anyway,
a no-brain nomer.
I thought that was brilliant. So,
but they do. They whenever they get on the stage, again responding to whatever, individually or as the squad, they suck all the air out of the room. I mean, the media can't resist covering everything they say, do, da-da-da-da-da-da. And, of course, all of them have baggage. Dare we talk about their baggage?
No. Do you think?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Where do you want to go? Let's talk about excess baggage.
Well, I think the one who sticks up like a real sore thumb is Ilhan Omar.
She's the one with the, what do they call it?
The headpiece. Yeah. She's the one from Minnesota. She represents a district that's, I think, a suburb of Minneapolis.
Right.
Which is predominantly Somalian immigrants.
District 9, is that right? I don't know.
I'm not sure about the number, but anyway. So she has allegations of...
how many times has she been married, do you think?
Well, they don't know. I mean, she supposedly hasn't been able to locate her husband since 2011.
British citizen, right?
Yes. And, the storyline also goes that she knows no one in his family that she is able to contact to try and she was married to this guy. I think she had a child with him.
Or 3.
Yeah. And surprisingly, I heard one report that his name came up on some background information on a website that was put together for a friend of hers that's in the UK.
She found it on something called Somali List or something like that.
Yeah, and
it was a dedicated blog site for Somalis.
Yeah, and this guy's name came up in the code, the software code that this website had
right.
for it. So, a lot of funny stuff there. And rumor is that I'm not sure if it's this guy or there's somebody else. It's her brother that she allegedly, nothing's proven here, folks. Married her brother so he could get into the U.S. under, some of our wide open asylum regulations.
Right. Graduate of North Dakota State. North Dakota
NDSU,
State.
yes.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota State. I mean, you truly cannot make this stuff. She is a U.S. congressperson that, just... How about we do a blood test or something, just...
And I think there's some, allegations of misspent funds or frauds or something with campaigns.
Well, she's got, the IRS...
And Talib has that, too.
Yeah, the IRS is running down her throat because of the way she filed her taxes. You know, married, filing, I don't know, jointly or separately or something.
Yeah, I think she filed, jointly with several, joints. Anyway. Yeah, it just it makes you a little nuts.
Just a little tip of the iceberg for baggage of Ilhan Omar.
But these four women really just seem to get an undue amount of press coverage. I don't know if the media feels it's because they're young, they have energy, they have a lot of ideas, they're not fitting into the traditional role, which is causing Nancy Pelosi a few issues dealing with the whole situation. But there you go. I mean,
I think Trump is painting a very clear picture, Democrats like it or not, that this is the face of the Democrat Party. And Pelosi was doing such a pullback yesterday. We're not going to go there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We already are there. So deal with it, Nancy. You've lost control. You have no control of the House anymore. These four quacks, socialist quacks undermining American democracy, are running the House right now.
And Nancy, as they say in Louisiana, is crawfishing. She's backing up as much as she can, as fast as she can.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't, she tries to come out there and, Trump even stuck up for her the other day when they claimed that she was a racist. And that's their tagline now. All they want to do is they call everybody, when nothing else works, pull the race card, folks. And,
And I got the definition of racism right in front of me.
Here we go.
The belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. So going back to what Trump said, if they don't like it here, they can go back to their countries of origin or their district and make things better there for the people that they either came from or represent. If they do a good job and want to come back and share that, great. If they want to stay, great. So it's really hard to find the seeds of racism in those statements, or in that statement. But you never know it. And like you said before, words now, like racism, misogynist, homophobe, I mean, they're trotted out with regularity. They say it for everything. And there's triggering, there's white privilege. The AOC said something about white supremacy and white privilege. What was it? Something that was said recently. She tied it to that. So everything gets slapped with these statements.
Catch-alls.
Yeah, and it's just disinformation. It's like.
But where is the outrage from the left when she comes out and says the things she does about the Jews? The anti-Semite
Omar
comments.
and Tlaib have been really, really down on the Jews.
And pick those two out. Presley, she's just kind of a throw in there.
Yeah. She's sort of an American progressive.
And AOC, she's just a bartender that got loose in Congress one day.
Yeah, got elected with 15% of the vote in her district.
Joe Crowley's, they've had him all over the airwaves. They've got, but the two that are the most vocal are, and I'm going to say it, the two that are most vocal are the Muslims, as Ilhan would call them.
Yep, anti-Semite, very anti-Semite.
Yeah, and anti-American, I think.
Well, yeah.
You call it what you want. They're trying to demonize everything that this country stands for, and they're trying to radically change. What was that statement that Obama made when he came into office?
If you like your doctor, you can keep your.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Biden said that too. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I don't want to go off track here.
No, we'll get to him later.
Yeah, but we're going to. I know what it was. We're going to fundamentally change the way this country acts and operates. Something to that effect, which is exactly what those two are trying to do. You look at the Quran and they say, here's the 3 steps. If the first 2 don't work, kill them.
Yeah, infidels don't do well in the Quran or the Muslim world. But again, I mean, that's the the real crazy ones. They're moderates out there, but the interesting thing, all four of these women come from very safe districts. There's no chance that any of these blue districts would go red. So that I think gives them the wherewithal or the feeling they have the freedom to like just shoot from the hip on everything. And AOC with their Green New Deal. I mean, it has nothing to do with the environment. It's back to your point. I mean, it is designed to change the economic basis of this country.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Now, AOC apparently is going to be challenged in Brooklyn.
Yeah, there's going to be a young Jamaican woman.
Cherie Murray. Scherie. I think it's either Sherry or Cherie. I believe it's Cherie. Businesswoman from the AOC district from Jamaica. Very accomplished, and she's going after her. She's going to be a challenger from the Republican side.
Yeah, from Republican
So
side.
if you've got an extra dollar and you want to spend it on something worthwhile, give it to Cherie Murray.
Now, do you think Juan and Kamala will support Cherie?
That's a great
Bonding,
question.
with all of the Jamaican brother and
I
sister.
know David Webb will.
I'm guessing he will. I'm more interested in Juan and Kamala.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we've carried on here for a good the better part of a half an hour here talking about the Trump rally, which for all accounts is,
Have you finished yet?
well, I mean, we can go on and on about that, but I think we're probably
Well, and any other highlights that really stick out or you remember? Or,
well, the one thing that the media is making big muckety muck over is when the crowd went into "Send her back" chant.
oh boy,
Send her back. Send her back.
this was in relation to the four.
He never said a word. He stepped away from the mic, let them have their few moments, and didn't comment about it. So,
Was there some USA, and lock her up?
well, there was some of that too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All
Matter of fact,
bases.
when that guy got out of line up in the crowd, they lock him up, and sure, that I mean, I swear to God, they had his hands behind him, and I think they had him cuffed, and they jacked him up going out. So
Was he just shouting things, or did he have a sign?
he had a sign because he did have a sign. I don't know what it said. They didn't give him much camera time. It was probably CNN that put the camera on him, if they were even there. But
They rarely do the camera on them.
Yeah.
They don't like to emphasize that at all.
Right,
Left,
right.
or center. I mean, so.
anyway, we again we've carried on here for about 30 minutes, and we'll take a break here in a few minutes. Bruce and I will regroup, figure out where we're going next. Brian does this thing for 2 hours every day. I guess that's why he gets up at 4 a.m, so that he can peruse the networks.
Yeah, Morning Joe. I mean,
For
did
good
you catch that this morning?
Morning
Or-
Brian. Anyway, we're hopeful that they have a good journey to Pennsylvania and spend some time with family. We're glad to be here. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to see some of the sponsors that make this show possible. We obviously wouldn't be here without them. We ask you to please support the sponsors that graciously keep FYN on the airwaves. So, Josh, how about taking us to break?